Moon Knight is one of the most anticipated Marvel characters joining the MCU right now. So have you been aware of this high anticipation, and how did you handle, for example, the pressure of expectation?
Yeah, that is a muscle that I've been able to work on for a long time. So, you know, when it comes time to doing the actual project, the idea of expectation, it doesn't come into it at all now. So that's been a nice thing to be able to cultivate that muscle. Now that we're finished and hearing how excited people are, I just get excited too, and I hope that they enjoy it as much as I do, because this is the version that I would have wanted to make. And I know that sometimes my sensibility is not the most mainstream sensibility, so, you know, that's just how it is. But I also had incredible collaborators, you know, the biggest one being Kevin Feige, and I couldn't have expected him to be such an amazing creative collaborator. I mean, every step of the way we talked about it, we would discuss things, we would share ideas back and forth. And the fact that he was willing to take some pretty big risks with this show in particular, not only with the subject matter, but the characterizations that I created for them, you know, which was not on the page, that he was willing to go there. It just, I couldn't have anticipated how much fun it was going to be.
Hello, and welcome to Staying Awake.
I have a sleeping disorder. I can't tell the difference between my waking life and dreams.
Hello, and welcome to Staying Awake.
But talking about how you are going to those projects, this is what I like about your work. So you are kind of, you are acting in blockbusters and art house pieces alternately. So I love that you are kind of changing between both words. Sometimes you unite both words in one. So how does it feel to be kind of sometimes in both words?
For me, it's the character, and is there space to create something? And whether is there space to create something in a $3 million movie, or is there space to create something on the biggest stage there is, which is a Marvel show, you know? Is there room to do something that I haven't done yet?
I can't tell the difference between life and dreams.
Thank you.
Lost the contact lens.
Hope you find it.
Thanks.
You know, the stage itself is less important to me. With this one, it was definitely something that I've never done before. There was a chance to create a really weird, interesting character that I just totally fell in love with Stephen Grant, and then to deal with something that is really complicated and dark and emotional, which is abuse and trauma and surviving that, and using the language of the superhero genre to tell that story seemed like just such a weird, interesting thing to do.
I think I'm losing it.
We'll catch you on. You're bloody useless, Stevie.
Stephen.
And you just name it, your character is a little bit weird. I was a little bit scared. I was fascinated sometimes at the same time. So it's not like a character we've seen before on the Marvel screen. So yeah, he has to deal with several challenges. So what kind of character trait was the most fascinating one for you, and which one was the scariest?
Well, I think, obviously, you know, the first thing was like, what kind of character does it have to be that I'm gonna want to play it for like 8 months, you know, on set? And so when I got a hit on the Stephen character, and I just loved being him, I loved his sensibility. You know, I wanted to play a character that was a little bit of a fish out of water, that wanted to connect but didn't know how. You know, I found his voice that I you know, made my family laugh and fall in love with him a lot, you know. And so I just also thought, to me, like, what would be the funniest new addition to see in like an Avengers movie, you know? And I was like, imagine Steven dealing with all these other, like Iron Man and these guys. I just found that really humorous to myself. So I was like, okay, I want to play it like this. And I presented it to Kevin and he went for it. And so from there it was like, okay, so I kind of have a hit on the character. Now, what is this thing about?
Hold the phone. Now hold the phone. Yeah.
Oh my God, you're alive. What's wrong with you, Mark?
Why did you call me Mark?
And when I really delved into this, you know, a person that just doesn't know their own mind and doesn't know what they've been through and doesn't know what they've survived, and learns that they're not even, you know, that there's another part of them that is this American guy that's from Chicago, that's a mercenary, that is enslaved to this guy. You know, it's just so crazy, it's so wild, that in it of itself feels like a dream, but all of it feels like a emotional exploration of trauma and abuse.
It must be very difficult. The voice in your head. Shut up! There's chaos in you. Embrace the chaos.